Welcome to your daily dose of Lambdog. Today's subject, vegans and vegetarians. Caught a couple videos that inspired this at the time of this posting. However, I'm going to be posting a little more of a timeless, I'm not going to name names or anything like that. But I'm in a bit of a different position than I think some of the commenters, and I don't mean to judge them, are, in that I am quite into fitness and nutrition at the moment. And I'm not going to say that I have an expert opinion, but I believe I have a somewhat educated opinion. It's interesting how the vegans and vegetarian tend to be people of a certain political ilk. You know, they're a little more, they seem to be a little more socialistic minded, you know, and I don't mean that in a bad way, like, oh man, you tree hugging, vegetable eating hippie, you ain't nothing but a commie. I don't mean it like that. I mean, it tends to be people are a little more left leaning, a little more aware, a little more sensitive to certain issues. And that's just been my experience. Your results and your mileage, of course, probably vary. Especially in my particular case, I have noticed while I do still eat meat, I am aware of my personal nutrition. And I'll end up having many meals during the day and throughout the week that are, in fact, vegetarian, even in some cases gluten-free. And then it all ends up being by happenstance, you know? So I believe that a discussion involving like, oh, who's a vegan and what were we designed to be and what were we made to be ends up almost being a discussion having absolutely nothing to do with nutrition or with original design. You know, it has to do with just overall point of view. You know, it's a litmus test. If you're conservative and red-blooded, then by golly, you eat meat, you know? I will say some of the points about cooking that I've seen, like, well, obviously originally we wouldn't have access to cooking, that we should have had to eat something else. That's a bit of a moot point on the one hand, because one, we can cook now, and two, there are many vegetables that have a certain cellular construction that we're unable to digest raw. You know, foods like broccoli, your cauliflower, I want to say maybe certain cabbages. You can't digest them now even, and those are vegetables. And there are meats that can be digested rather raw. You know, what are you using your cooking and your temperature for? To break down cellular walls, to generate production of certain acids and release certain fats from the actual tissue. But a lot of that stuff happens down in your intestines, and enzymes and things like that down in your intestines are one of those things that if you don't use them, you tend to lose them. You know, if they aren't fed correctly through the process of digestion, then they will just die off. So it stands to reason that there could be, by logic, at one time have been the enzymes in our intestines that would have allowed the correct digestion of raw meats. Just saying. This has been your daily dose of Lambdog. Keeping it food-based. No medicine today. Y'all take care.